Hello, welcome to Gabbing Gilmore. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Catherine. This is the comfort podcast for your favorite comfort show.
So grab your pager
and get ready for some mud wrestling
as we stroll through Stars Hollow. Today's episode is brought to you by our fabulous Copper Boom sponsors on Patreon, Steph Catucci, Leah Moon, and Nick Worley. We appreciate your support. If you'd like to vote on pod topics and get bonus episodes every month, join at patreon.com/Gabbing Gilmore.
Okay, Jackie, can we talk about throwing a Gilmore Girls inspired watch party?
Yes, please. That's one of my favorite things to do. We've done that a few times together.
Yes, and it is so much fun. So you and I gathered everything we learned into a handy little guide so that if you listeners at home want to do the same, it's all packaged there right for you. It makes party planning so simple and easy, very cozy, so you'll feel like you're in Stars Hollow. And we put drink recipes in there. We've got snack ideas, themed watch lists, Gilmore bingo. Oh my gosh, Jackie, we've got trivia for newbies and for more seasoned watchers. So you can grab it when you sign up for a completely free Patreon account with us or find it in the show notes. Now that must have given people a clue if they don't know already. The scene that changed everything between Luke and Jess.
The scene that changed everything. What is it, Kath?
And if you guys were listening carefully to the opening, you already know this from the mud wrestling. The heart-to-heart that Luke and Jess had in the diner. Yeah. In the episode, Luke can see her face. Mm-hmm. Season 4, episode 20.
It's so funny how their relationship over the past few seasons comes to a head in this one little diner scene.
It does.
And we think this is the point that changes and kind of like propels them forward into a new type of relationship.
It does. I think we can be bold enough to say it transforms their relationship.
Yeah. So we're breaking it down.
Yes.
Just like sentence by sentence.
Right. Because then we can really dig in.
Yeah.
Well, and before we dig in sentence by sentence to that chat, do you want to talk about what happened leading up to that between Luke and Jess?
Yeah. Let's orient ourselves a little bit about all the stuff that was going on here, because season 4 is so chock full of stuff.
Oh my God.
We love season 4, right? And any of the characters that you choose, you could talk in depth about what they have going on. It's so amazing. Okay, so let's start with episode 13, Nag Hammadi.
Yes.
This is when Liz has just come back into Luke's life, and this brings Jess back in, because we were on the Jess hiatus, like Jess was gone.
Yeah.
And then Jess comes back to get his car, and now all of a sudden Luke finds himself surrounded by Liz, TJ, and Jess.
Yep. And this is when Rory's kind of bumping into Jess around town, right? First, she sees him sleeping in the car and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Jess has to stick around for a few days. This also is the infamous fight between Jess and Luke. So this is when Luke is trying to appeal to Jess to help him. Let's get rid of TJ. This guy's no good. I mean, Luke has met him for 20 minutes.
Not even.
Like, this guy's no good. We got to get rid of him.
Right.
So he's trying to appeal to Jess. And this is when Jess lays into him. You're going to help people whether they want it or not. This is your problem. You have to fix everything. You have to fix everyone. He cuts right to Luke's heart. It's like probably the cruelest that Jess ever is to Luke.
Definitely. And probably the most words he has spoken to him in a row in a really long time.
So true. What I just said is a snippet. Yeah. It keeps going.
It's like, Jess, you don't usually talk that long.
So true. I don't even want to say all of it. It's so mean.
It is.
One of the other things he says is you interfere and make everything worse.
Oh.
I know.
Luke looks like he just got slapped in the face.
He does. He truly does. Like, if you just pause it right after Jess leaves and look at Luke's face, no.
It's so sad.
You know what's funny or ironic, I want to say, at the end of this episode, when Jess does have his car and he's just told Rory he loves her and he's about to leave, he's looking for the keys in his car and Luke has left him an envelope of money, of cash.
He sure did.
It's like, Luke, he's still there for him.
I know.
Even after getting slapped in the face like that.
Right? He still thinks, I'm going to help my nephew out.
I think that said a lot to Jess right there. But okay.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about what's going on with Luke too here. So in episode 15, we're still in season 4, Scene in a Mall. This is when he invests in the dragonfly. Okay. And then we get to episode 19, After a Boom, Luke finalizes his divorce.
Yep.
So Jess is still gone during these episodes. Okay. And then episode 20 is when Luke buys the book on tape. And this is actually before he knows that Liz and TJ are getting married. If you quiz me on that, I'm not sure I would know the answer.
No, I know. I feel like we realized that in a recent episode.
Okay.
Because what prompted it, maybe this is when we talk about Luke and Lorelai fall in love, that episode. He stops by the dragonfly, and this is when Suki introduces Shell to Lorelai, and she pretends like she and Luke are together. And then she's saying things about like, gosh, are we just hopeless? Are we ever going to find our people or have, long-term partnerships? And she says like, I see Dr. Phil books in our future.
Right?
That's right. Remember? And he's like, well, I'm not likely to come across them unless they sell them in the Home Depot or whatever.
And there we are.
But then he just goes out and gets one.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's motivated himself, but then Liz and TJ right after that say they're getting married. So he's really motivated now. Then this is the same episode. So in episode 20, a lot is happening in After Boom. So he buys the book on tape. He finds out that Liz and TJ are getting married. And then he goes to New York, same episode, to convince Jess to attend Liz's wedding because we know Liz wants him to walk her down the aisle.
Isn't that whole thing fascinating? I feel like Jess must have had some whiplash with this whole conversation because, like, last time he saw Luke's going, we need to get rid of this guy. How are we going to do it? What are we going to do? And then next time he sees Luke, he's saying, you got to come to this wedding. You can't not, you have to show up. This could be something really good for your mom. I think Jess is like, dude.
What? That's so true.
What happened in the middle?
Maybe it's Jess's fault because Jess told him stop interfering. So Luke's like, fine. I'm letting them do it.
Right. Although, like, isn't he still kind of interfering in a way?
It's still a version of interfering, yes.
This is so funny because I found someone online who really didn't like this scene when when Luke goes to see Jess in New York. And this person says, like, Luke is awful to him the entire season 4 and forced Jess's hand for every part of Liz's wedding. And, and then they say, he didn't deserve any single part of the mocking, guilting, and yelling that Luke did to force him into this stupid wedding that he had every right to skip.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Mocking, guilting, and yelling. It was pretty strong.
That is. I have to think that's somebody's own stuff. And they're viewing it through that lens. And for that person, I feel bad for them if they've experienced that.
For sure.
I think like for Jess, he's used to this from Luke. Like this is how they interact with each other. They're not warm and fuzzy.
The whole sarcastic thing is exactly what Luke and Jess do when Jess is in town to get the car fixed too. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Luke's like, eat the expired stuff, blah, blah, blah. He has this whole like snarky conversation with him.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't think it's bad that he's like making fun of the building where he lives and, which mattress is yours. Like
I almost think it appeals more to Jess.
Yeah.
Like if he came in all lovey, syrupy, sweet, just be like, oh my God, get out of here.
Or even concerned, like, why are you living in this place?
Yeah.
Is it safe here? Did you know what you were getting into?
How scary would that be?
That doesn't read the same way either to Jess. You'd be like, bruh, leave me alone.
But I think this person is right in that and what you said too, this was kind of shocking because did he know Luke was coming? I don't think so.
No.
Did he know this wedding is happening? Probably. It sounds like Liz asked.
Yeah.
And he said no, so he knows.
I do love that he's like, don't worry, I'll just catch the next one.
Yeah.
That's such a good Jess line.
The banter's so good. Yeah, I mean, and it works.
It does work.
He comes.
He comes. And we don't really know why until the diner scene.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to say the other piece about the way that Luke shows up at Jess's apartment is I think that Luke just believes in showing up for family regardless. It's like how he gets involved in his uncle's funeral, even though he doesn't really want to.
Definitely.
He didn't think highly of his uncle,
Nope.
but he's doing it for his father. And then he says several times, it's family, it's what you do.
Yes.
So I think he's just going to keep showing up for Jess. He believes Jess should show up for his mother. It's what you do. It's
what
family.
you do, regardless of what has happened in
Yeah.
the past. Because a lot of people will say, you know, Liz is abusive to
Right.
Jess, and we could get into that in another episode.
Yeah,
That's like a big one to unpack.
it is.
But, you know, so could Jess say no? Of course, you know, he didn't
Right.
have to go. But Luke does end up saying, like, you owe me. It's his last, what do you call it?
It's like last ditch effort.
Exactly.
Like the last thing he has.
Yeah. Because first he appeals to Jess's almost duty as a son, like, you know, and family duty. We have to be here for her. What if this is a real thing?
Yeah.
What if this marriage goes the distance? And then he sees that's not working. So finally at the end, you owe me.
That's right. That's right. I kind of forgot about
It's
that.
a little kid thing. Like,
It
he
is.
didn't have anything left.
It is so true.
You owe me. I was there for you.
That's right.
And funny enough, that's the thing that worked.
It is.
Yeah.
And so what's crazy is in this same episode, we're still in episode 20.
Yeah.
You can see her face. We get to the bachelor party.
Yeah, we do.
So again, so much is happening. And I mean, this is such a weird scene for Gilmore Girls. I
So
remember
weird.
watching it with my daughter when she
Yeah.
was young, with the first time that we watched it. And I was like, oh, we're going to do one of these scenes. And is it like the worst strip club scene we've ever seen in a show? No.
No, we've all seen The Sopranos.
Except me.
I haven't watched The Sopranos, right? I saw it like peripherally while my husband watched it when it was live.
Yeah.
I felt like every time I walked by, I was just like, oh, there's boobs over there, like in the background.
Was it
because they were
always-
hanging out at a strip club?
Like
a
always
lot.
in a strip club. Ugh.
Not always,
Yeah.
but I think it was probably like one of the places that they met and that they were like hiding money or whatever. So
Exhausting.
it was a backdrop.
Sure.
As were the women.
Of
were
course.
a backdrop. Yeah, and I think that's why for so long I was like, I'm not watching this.
yeah, right.
Interestingly, we talked about it not that long ago, and I was like, I mean, I could maybe watch it with you now. Maybe
Yeah.
we could start from the beginning if you want.
You're like, I'm going to say a lot
We'll
of
see.
things, though.
Exactly. And be like, boobs
ready.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna do a boob count.
Yep.
Anyway,
But there were no boobs in this one,
No.
thankfully.
no.
But the mud wrestling is like kind of uncomfortable for Gilmore Girls. Like
It is.
It pushes it a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this isn't what we usually do.
Yeah, yeah. But okay. And Jess goes.
He does.
I
He
mean,
shows up.
It's interesting because he didn't actually agree to that. He agrees to walk her, to go into the wedding.
To go to the wedding
down the aisle.
Well, he hadn't agreed to that yet.
Yeah, true.
Remember?
True.
He only agreed to show up.
Right. Yeah.
And this is where TJ tries to convince him
That's so
to
true.
walk her down the aisle. And this is why they get in a fight.
And one of our Patreon subscribers mentioned after our TJ episode, that was one of the things we didn't talk about.
true.
That was kind of like when we were talking about how much TJ loves Liz and how much he props her up. And this is one of the moments when he is attempting to do something in the name of love for Liz. And he didn't go about it in a... First of all, don't do it in this moment at a strip
No.
club at a bachelor party.
Right.
He doesn't do it in a great way. I would have loved to have seen TJ sit down with Jess over chili,
I know.
and
Yeah.
try to chat with him.
Smacking the
but
book out of his hand was not great.
It's because the environment. See, you shouldn't do things like this in a strip club.
For real.
Guys, yeah.
No, you're right. I think it was the environment that was playing into all of that.
'Cause
It's
we never saw
we're-
TJ
We're
act
here
like
to be
that.
masculine.
Yes.
The best thing we get from that scene is the conversation about a lap. Which,
yes.
by the way, I introduced at dinner the other night.
Did you?
I was like, did you know the lap is an illusion?
What'd your daughter do? She like, what are you doing now?
Yeah, she was like kind of interested, but also like, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
Mom?
And then, yeah, like it's kind of funny because we've seen Jess fight so much when he was in high school, but here he does not fight at all. So Luke steps in really fast and is pushing him away from TJ. And then Jess keeps saying, stop, stop. He yells it like 3 times and he almost looks scared. Not scared, but he has kind of a trauma. Like he doesn't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Whereas whenever we've seen him fight in the past, he is like all in, focused on the fight.
Blinders on.
Yeah,
like
it's
really
very
focused.
different. So he doesn't seem to he's not wanting to fight.
No. That's why it's sad that it happens. And then when they get back to the diner, that's really the first thing that Luke says. And I'm actually amazed. So we're going now to the scene that changed it all.
Yeah.
And I'm actually amazed that Jess sat down in the diner.
Me too.
You know, old Jess would have just walked to a park bench.
Yeah.
Once they got back to the Hollow, or went straight to bed.
Yep.
Without talking to Luke. They sit down in the diner.
Yeah. And they're both ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned how Jess seems during the fight, because he seems different. This isn't the old Jess that we knew. Yeah. So he's ready to appeal to Luke. And I don't think he wanted to come in looking like his old self. Maybe he's a little embarrassed.
Maybe.
Like, oh man, I showed up.
Yes.
Because Luke asked me to. And what happens is I get in a fight and he's going to think it's the same old me.
So maybe he was ready for this conversation.
Yeah.
And then Luke tries to do this whole thing where he's like, I achieved this great sense of calm. You are who you are. I can't change that. And I'm going to stop trying. And like, do we believe that?
Yeah, I mean, I know you got to wonder like what happened between the club and Luke coming back to the diner. Like what is going through his head?
Right. Shortest bachelor party ever. They were there for like 6 minutes.
Other than Dean's.
Right. Dean.
Which also ends at Luke's diner.
But they'd been hanging out for a long time.
They were like in a parking lot or something.
Right.
So cool. Yeah, you have to wonder, but that's why I go back to that fight. Well, not so much a fight, but when Jess yelled at Luke after Luke appeals to him to help with the TJ issue.
Yeah.
Is Luke hearkening back to that moment and thinking, Jess is telling me who he is. He's telling me to butt out. And every time I stick my nose in, something bad happens. And he's right. Like, I need to just butt out. So maybe Luke is thinking this fight is proof I shouldn't have brought him here.
Right. It backfired.
Yeah.
He's thinking.
But then also, he's not going to get mad about it. Like, he's gotten past that where he's not going to expend the energy to be angry. Right. So instead he goes for the calm.
Right. And he's like, I'm just going to try to stop getting you to do certain things. It's not my role anymore.
But Luke's also been listening to a self-help book.
He has.
So is there a little bit of, mechanism there that's helping him learn how to be calmer or understand his emotions or then process them that he didn't have
take
before?
A beat.
Maybe
before launching into something.
Yes.
Or making a decision.
Yes.
So he's kind of, probably as much as he's telling Jess this, he's telling himself it. That, okay, Luke, I gotta just relax and stop trying to make Jess do certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad when he says, you hate me that much. You hate your mother that much.
Yeah.
But he says both. Like, you hate me that much. And Jess is like, I don't hate you. I don't hate my mother.
Yeah.
And I think both of those really appealed to Jess as well, to show him this is how people are feeling about your behavior and your actions. They feel like you hate them.
Yeah. And he wants to make it clear, like, I don't hate you.
Yeah.
I don't hate my mother.
I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. And then I think my favorite part is when Jess says, I came here because of you.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, stop that. And just as you said it was important, do you remember? And Luke, I didn't think you were listening. Oh, I was listening.
I love it.
Oh, I love the I was listening line.
It's the turning point moment.
Yes,
right
it
there.
is.
I was
Everything
listening.
changes.
Yes.
And because as an audience, we think back to the New York City conversation where it seems like Jess really wasn't listening, because he's like on his pager and he's waking up his roommate and he's kind of like rolling his eyes at Luke.
Yeah.
but he took it in.
This reminds me so much of parenting kids who go from like teens to adults. And there's that funny period of young adulthood or late teen. And yeah, it's a little bit confusing as the parent because you're trying to give them their own time to make their decisions. Especially an 18-year-old is legally allowed to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
And you're not really sure what's sinking in at that point. It's hard. You know, it's not like when you're potty training a 2-year-old and you can see the effects of the potty training, whether it's worked or didn't.
Seriously.
It's not like that anymore. And so I feel for Luke, where you don't know if all the work you put in is having any effect. And I think the minute that Jess says, I was listening, that Luke can sit back and think,
wow.
And have a little relief. Yeah. Like, oh, okay.
Like, I did get through to this kid in some way.
Yeah. Like,
wow.
Whew, okay.
Yeah. It's very different from past Jess.
Very.
And as you said, it's probably a big change for Luke to see, okay, well, maybe we can have a different kind of relationship than I thought we could.
Yeah. Because Jess actually is coming to him very vulnerably here. He's being honest. He's being calm. We're not getting the anger.
And then it gets more vulnerable because Luke is like, then why weren't you going to come? And Jess does the silent thing, which means Rory.
It's so funny.
And Luke is like, you're kidding me. I love how he never has to say her name.
Nope.
He just like silently stares at him.
Yep.
And Luke's like, oh, wait, come on. It's been forever since the two of you saw each other.
Uh-huh.
And then this is when Jess starts to open up. Like, well, actually, I saw her when I was here getting my car.
Yes.
And I told her I loved her.
Yes.
Why do you think Jess admitted that? Or like offered the information?
I think it has to do with the fact that Luke is open to him right now. They're sitting at this table. They're open to each other. And Jess has probably been dying to talk to someone about this. Because remember we talked about him as an Enneagram 4 and how much they feel and they feel so deeply and then they think about what they're feeling and then they feel and they think about what they're feeling. And at some point he's got to want to let this out with somebody.
Right. Because he doesn't have his like writer poet friends yet from Philadelphia who you could see him talking to about things later on.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have them yet.
No.
I don't think Todd sleeping on the mattress is going to be there for him.
The way they did that set of the New York apartment is so great.
It really is.
I mean, it's kind of a big place for a New York apartment, but like, you know, there's
it's like technically a studio apartment and you shove 4 or 5 guys in there. Like, this is what people do.
I love when Luke says, which mold infested mattress is yours?
Oh, I'm so glad you got the phrase right. I forgot exactly what he said.
It's so good. Okay, anyway. All right, we won't go backwards. But it's so cute. So Luke's ready for this. Whereas in the past, would he have been as able to talk about romantic relationships? Not so much. You know, he's just gotten divorced with his weird relationship with Nicole.
Nothing but weird.
Nothing but weird. Just going to tell him. He's got his pining after Lorelai that he's never moved on. So yeah, is he the most qualified? No, but he's been listening to the book on tape. Now he knows something about Philip and Judy.
Right. Who are these people?
I love how he puts his chin on his hands. He's like, I got a friend. Let's call him Philip. And Jess
he used his love as a bargaining tool or whatever. Oh my gosh. So funny. Yeah. So this is like he feels like he's finally able and qualified to give Jess some advice, even though Luke hasn't really implemented it all that much yet. He has intentions to. And he heard it. He heard the book on tape, not just listened, but he heard it.
Yeah, internalized
and absorbed it. So do you think this is like one of the most open conversations they've ever had about Rory?
Yeah, I feel like Luke seems both shocked and impressed that Jess told Rory that he loves her.
Yeah.
Almost like he didn't believe Jess capable of loving someone else.
Right. He was kind of like, you're kidding.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
like,
what?
This is like new eyes for Jess. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're capable of this.
Yeah.
Wow. You know,
Right.
again, an adult. We kind of see as an adult emotion. You know, he's seeing him as more adult.
Yeah.
And
Instead of a punky kid
yes,
who's just like messing around with a girl.
I think I wrote that in my notes. Like,
What, that
he
he
no
was a
longer
punk?
sees Jess as a punk. It's somewhere in here.
Love that.
And you can see that Luke is more confident, and Jess can see that. So he's
Yes.
bringing that confidence to this conversation and to Jess, and it's working. It's working for Jess. It's working for Luke.
It is. And you know what's really interesting? It does seem like it's working because in the very next episode, Jess agrees to walk Liz down the aisle.
Yeah.
And you have to think that he was reflecting on this conversation, right?
Yes.
Okay, not to get too far ahead.
Yeah,
Let's keep going
Okay.
with, we left off at Phil and Judy.
Luke's friends.
And then Luke's like, I'm just trying to help you out. So then Luke is like, stay tuned, and he starts to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, his stay tuned is a way of saying like, you told me I'm weird.
Yeah.
That my relationship to Nicole was nothing but weird.
Right.
It didn't work. But he's like, I'm better now. And things change. Stay tuned. Because he's planning, to pursue Lorelai. But then he pauses for a minute and he goes, you really told her you loved her?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it's like for the first time, as you said, Luke is seeing Jess as maybe an adult capable of love and these more mature emotions.
This is where I wrote the punk thing. It's like Jess just erased his punk, tough guy, loser persona
It is.
and moved into adulthood in Luke's eyes.
Yeah. And you wonder if Luke is going to start seeing other people differently too. Like maybe he's going to look at Kirk differently. I mean, Kirk has Lulu at this point, but Kirk's a handful. Or like Taylor or Miss Patty, anyone.
Yeah.
Caesar, like he might see them. Caesar's not as permanent now, but you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
He might see them as more complex humans.
This is where I think Luke becomes more paternal. What you're saying, like the father of Stars Hollow in a way, where Lorelai can be very maternal to a lot of the Stars Hollow characters.
Yeah.
As much as Luke kind of railed against them for years.
Right.
I think exactly what you're saying, that he might change how he sees them. His paternal instincts have been piqued.
Yeah.
And now refined to a place where he feels confident, and he feels confident to express them to other people. And then we see that Luke becomes one of the, I don't know, he's like the most active fathers on the show.
I was going to
after
say,
this.
can we draw like a wavy line from the audiobook to Luke giving Zach and Lane advice?
Yeah. And what do we have all in that time? I mean, we've got April
And then
comes
April.
in, and I'm sure even with Dula, he's active with her, and and then Lane and Zach. And am I missing anyone? Sometimes he is very kind with Kirk and takes care of him. Yeah, no, he is. He's like the father of Stars Hollow. Unintentional father of Stars Hollow.
He doesn't really want to be.
No, but it's such a great arc for him. And I would even say that this relationship is one of like the most satisfying. The Luke and Jess relationship is one of the most satisfying of the whole series.
For sure.
Right?
Because this leads to a lot of things. And maybe that's another episode because we've been chatting for a while. But like, what are some of the things that you don't think would have been possible without this conversation as a starting point?
Between Luke and Jess?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was even thinking about them in A Year in the Life and how they're relying on each other. Again, to talk about very real adult issues, whether it's their relationships or their career, whatever they're doing in life. Luke and Lorelai are struggling a lot in A Year in the Life. And who can Luke talk to about that?
Yeah, Jess is there for him.
It's wonderful to see that.
I love the way Jess shows up for him.
Yes, it's so satisfying. And I think we're all happy to see that they're still very close and able to rely on one another.
Definitely.
How about you? What did you have in mind?
Yeah, that for sure. Yeah. And even I think just the way we see it long term, and we also see it very immediately. I love how in Last Week Fights, This Week Tights, the wedding episode of Liz and TJ, right away, they pretty much start off the episode with Luke and Jess are now aligned. It's like they're on the same team.
Totally.
And part of this is because they're like, them and Lorelai are like the only civilians at this Renaissance fair. They're the only people who aren't swept up in the culture. And it's also even just getting ready for the wedding. I mean, I love that scene.
So funny.
When Luke, Jess, and TJ are all in Luke's apartment on top of each other, trying to get ready. And they're having this conversation about shoe polish. And Jess is kind of like, they're interacting more, I think, than usual and conversing. But then they're aligned, like when it comes to the deodorant.
Right.
You know, oh, hope you don't mind. I use your deodorant. Jess is like, let me get that for you. And then just Jess tells him which tie to go with.
Yeah.
Not upon a request, but he sees Luke standing there, staring at himself, figuring out which tie to wear. And Jess is like, just very quietly, he's like, wear this one.
Oh.
It's so cute.
It's such a switch.
It's such a switch. And I just love seeing them so much on the same team.
And I wonder too, like, so they had the conversation, but how did Jess feel around TJ after that whole strip club fight?
I know.
You know, did they make amends? Because when in our TJ episode, we talked about the fact that TJ usually makes amends with people.
He does. I want to think that he showed up to the apartment that day and was like, oh, man, sorry about that.
Yeah.
You know, I got a little worked up, as he usually does.
Right.
I hope he cleared the air with Jess.
We're going to
for the
be
wedding
family.
Day.
We're going to
I
do his
can't imagine
TJ.
he would just sweep it under the rug. That's not who he is.
But that probably still helped solidify the Jess and Luke bond even more so. Again, like,
definitely.
Against TJ. I mean, they're not against TJ, but they're kind of like against TJ.
Right. They are. They're just like laughing at him.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I think Jess made the decision to walk Liz down the aisle before making amends with TJ. I want to think that it came right after this conversation with Luke.
Agree. I think it had almost like nothing to do with TJ.
Yeah. No.
In Jess's mind.
Which makes me even prouder of Jess, because old Jess would have dug his heels in and been like, well, I can't agree to do this now because TJ's going to think he got the best of me.
Yeah.
So it was like really, really mature for him to say yes.
Very sweet.
Yeah, we cannot underestimate that moment.
Yeah. And it I'm sure it propels his relationship with his mother forward into a more adult and mature relationship. We don't get to see a lot of that,
right?
But
because
Liz
is maturing at the same time.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Along with her son. Which
Yes.
happens.
Which is tricky.
It does happen. Yeah. Very tricky and not great for Jess, but it happens. Yeah.
So, Jackie, it's funny because one of the biggest conversation pieces about Gilmore Girls is Rory's boyfriends, right? Are you Team Logan, Team Jess, Team Dean, yada, yada, yada. But one of our favorite relationships, I think, is Luke and Jess.
Yeah.
Would you go as far to say it's one of the most transformative on the show?
Yeah. Yeah. Most transformative.
Or transformed.
Yeah. And most satisfying. I mean, we don't get like as much screen time as other character relationships do. So you your brain has to like fill in a little bit. You know, we get creative with what happened in between. You can imagine like phone calls or visits, or even once Dula came around, like was Jess coming to visit, you know, and you start imagining them hanging out on a Sunday, like making chili and watching football and hanging out with Dula, or April or things like that. So you can kind of like fill in a bit of their family time that we don't get to see. But it is so satisfying. I was on Instagram and I was just like looking around at Luke and Jess reels. Yeah. And it was literally making my heart so happy.
Oh my gosh.
And even some of them were them kind of like nitpicking at each other, or going at each other. And it's like, it's still satisfying because they just like vibe off of each other. It's like they know what the other needs and how to connect in their own unique way.
Because they share some of the same qualities.
They sure do.
Of like grumpiness, isolation, like not wanting to be the center of attention, not loving parties, all that stuff.
Like really get each other.
They do.
Which is
certain ways they're really alike. Yeah. And I mean, we didn't mention this part, but I just love the next day too that he's reading the love book around town.
Yes.
I mean, can you believe he actually picked it up?
And even when Luke hands it to him and just like puts it on his lap, Jess has no negative reaction, which is amazing.
No, it's more just like empty. It's just kind of like, what's this?
Oh, but no mocking, nothing like that. You just, oh, I love that.
And then the next time we see him, he's reading it.
Of course.
Like, Luke, you worked miracles.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Luke should get some kind of trophy.
He should.
For difficult parenting.
I know, exactly.
Finally getting out the other side.
Yeah.
Oh.
We love it.
All right. Well, I'm so glad we talked about them this week. Are you ready to finish up and get totsied?
Okay. You want to go first?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So, Jack, I've been running through other teen dramas of the same era. I consider it almost my homework. I finished Gossip Girl recently.
Nice.
And decided to start Veronica Mars.
Oh, I've never watched that.
So I didn't either.
Yeah.
I'm not very far in.
Okay.
I think I'm only one episode or two in. But you know who was in the very first episode?
Oh.
Graham from Gilmore Girls.
Graham.
The guy.
That's how Emily says it.
She does.
Graham.
Love that. The sing song.
Yeah.
Yeah. His name is Duncan.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like,
him.
And I think he's supposed to be kind of a jerk. I'm like, this works. You have that face where you can do it.
Yep. So wait, do you know when that aired? Veronica Mars?
No.
Okay. We'll look it up.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say like 2003, but maybe it was later than that. All right, Jackie, this is the funny thing. It aired September 22nd, 2004.
Ah, your birthday.
You were busy.
And I was busy with two little babies.
Oh, that's so weird. Do you know what else aired that very same day?
What?
I think? Lost.
Oh, I watched Lost.
Because you did.
Yeah.
I always remembered it's like Flight 815 crashed on my birthday. And I believe it was 2004.
Yeah, because I used to do whatever I could to like be ready to watch Lost. It was like these babies need to
twin
be
babies.
like asleep or whatever. Yeah,
you had to rush over to the TV.
Yes, because there was no streaming. But anyway,
so I'll keep you guys posted on Veronica Mars.
Okay, fun.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, how did it show up for you?
So this week, my daughter's home for spring break, and we were talking about this baker that she used to be really into when she was a kid.
Oh, I remember this.
Remember the Crumb Boss?
Oh, I sure do.
And she was on YouTube, but she also had a bakery in New Jersey. But anyway, we ended up like talking about her again for some reason. And then Julia was reading her bio and she said, oh, CIA trained chef. And then someone made a joke about the CIA. And I was like, oh, Suki has friends in the CIA. But nobody knew the reference. And I was like, hun, not that
No,
CIA.
you don't. You don't have friends in the CIA. Yes, I do. No, you don't.
Oh, not that CIA. Not the Culinary Institute of America?
Nope, not that one.
Oh,
that's cute.
Yeah, it was fun. A little trip down memory lane as my children are about to graduate.
Oh my gosh.
And go into the real world.
Can't handle it. How do they get so old? Wild.
Like Jess going off to be an adult.
I know.
Well, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we love this relationship, and we want to hear if you love it just as much as we do.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this week. Come join in the conversation on Instagram at Gabbing Gilmore. That's 2 G's in the middle. And be sure to follow the show in your podcast app so you never miss an episode.
We also have a great new way to hear from you. Leave us your most pressing thoughts with a simple voice note at speakpipe.com/Gabbing Gilmore. You just might hear yourself on air.
Gabbing Gilmore is edited and produced by us, Jackie Prosick and Catherine Bailey. Cover art by MGI Studios. See you next time.
Copper boom!